What's the big deal about your friends dating your exes if they are genuinely happy together? My personal rule was always, don't date your best friend's boyfriend. Don't date your boyfriend's best friend, even if they're exes, not if you value your friendships. And while I'm not in touch with either of them anymore, for unrelated reasons, I hope they're happy if that is indeed the case. Totally, I think I would have a hard time with a friend I still see regularly dating a significant ex only because I intentionally do not keep exes in my life as friends. Just not something I personally like, but someone I don't even see anymore. I hope they're happy. This 100%. I don't want my exes in my life. So if a friend starts dating my ex, I'm gonna put distance there. I would wish them well, however. This is an interesting one. If I had a friend, who I just lost contact with, date my ex, I think I'd be okay. The only caveat is if it was one of the friends who knew all the ins and outs of the breakup heartache. I suppose it depends on the specific friendship, both at the time of the breakup and now. I tried my best to not date friends' exes, just always seemed like a bad idea. Then about a year into dating this one girl, I found out that not only did she used to date my best friend who introduced us, she also used to date one of my exes. Just depends on the timeline, how serious the relationship was, etc. I have exes who, if my friends went out with them, I would absolutely wish them well, but I wouldn't hang out with them as a couple at all. I have an ex I went out with for 5 years. We lived together, went through bereavements together, etc. And no bad blood to him at all, but we wouldn't be spending time like that. I'm with you. I've got a few exes that if my friends tried to date I'd wish them luck, and possibly even want them not to, but there's one ex that if they wanted to date them I would be pretty pissed off. Nearly 8 years together, a house, dogs, the lot, would not be able to be friends with either of them if they dated. It depends on how your breakup occurred. My ex was a lovely person, just not right for me, so I'd be happy for a friend that fell in love with him. But if there was any pain or longing for an ex left hanging in the air, only to find out that the person you poured your heart out to as a friend has started seeing your ex behind your back, oof. Big yikes. Girl code. Aren't there enough men in the world that my GF would need to F my sloppy seconds? Consider that if you're close friends they have hung out with you two together. Listen to you talk about him. I personally would never. Thank you. You don't have to still have feelings to not like this honestly. When he abused and raped you throughout your entire relationship, and one of your best friends tries to bring him as her date to your wedding, that was a fun conversation. Actually, it was no conversation. I got told I was overreacting and was apparently clearly not over him, at my wedding, to another man. Easiest friendship ending of my life. She knew. By the way, she was the first person I told. I'm sorry, she's a terrible human being. It's not a big deal to me, though I'd want better for my friends than for them to date any of my exes. It would be inconvenient for me because I prefer to cut contact with exes, so it would be somewhat inconvenient to have them dating a close friend and my friendship would probably grow more distant. Isn't it awkward? Yes, especially if the person was dumped by the ex and isn't over them yet. Wait, if your friend dates your ex then honey that was never your friend. They was plotting and waiting on you to break up. Watch who you call your friend. There are moral codes to things. Exactly. I had a really toxic breakup with my first boyfriend of 4 years and part of the reason was because I was convinced him and our friend were into each other. They lied and acted like I was crazy to the point where I apologized to the friend because I was sure I had been imagining things. But nope. They 2 weeks after we broke up. I would always wonder if they were secretly into each other while we were dating. It would call into question all of our past interactions. No big deal, as long as all 3 people are genuinely fine with it. But if you had a bad breakup with an ex and don't have them in your life anymore, if your friend dates them you will have them in your life again. And generally you solve that by getting rid of the friend. No one likes to feel second best. It all really depends on the breakup and how the relationship was, I think. For example, if two people broke up simply because they just didn't mesh well, it would be fine for a friend to date the ex. Nothing. My best friend married my ex. I was in the wedding party and cried happy tears the whole time. Love them both so dearly. Presently dating my best friend's first ever boyfriend from 15 years ago. We all hang out together with her husband and daughter and my son, and it's lovely. Maybe more people should be waiting 15 years first. It is what it is. At least, someone is happy. So that's the key. Doesn't necessarily need to be me. That said, it surely depends on how things were evolving and were communicated. My friend's ex is currently kinda trying to talk to me. They have been broken up for a decade and she's uncomfortable with him being interested in me, so I'm being respectful of that, but at the same time I am curious about him. Unfortunately, they get along well and co-parent really well, and I don't want to ruin any of that. So just friends it will be. BC, it's an unwritten rule. Almost a commandment. You just don't do it. Just sing. I agree. I've been with a lot of my friends' exes and vice versa because it's natural to meet the same people if you're in the same friend group. I mean, they are your ex for a reason, so I've never seen what the big deal is. People who get back with their exes 99% of the time don't work out. Any of my friends know that anyone I had sex with is off limits. It's just girl code. Why would you want someone your friend had? I really don't care unless they discuss private aspects of my life. Mind that I only shared with one of them. Otherwise it's whatever. Hell, my ex-fiancé married my old college friend and I married her ex-boyfriend. I have two friends that are now married to men I dated previously, back when we were teenagers. We are all great friends and I couldn't be happier for them, but we never refer to the fact that I dated them. My best friend started dating my ex of 2 years after he and I broke up. I was just maid of honor at their wedding. After them being together for 5 years, if they're happy, and they're still treating you as you should be treated, then there's nothing wrong with it. I see it like this. If I introduced you to my friend and then you guys hook up after we broke up, I see it as disrespectful, almost like if your sister or brother did that to you. I had sex with him, her, you shouldn't be looking at or feeling what I felt. It's just gross to me. Nothing. Wish one would take my ex away and leave me alone. Secrets. Good, bad, intimate, inconsequential. It's much like asking, what's the big deal if your therapist tells her 3 PM appointment all about her 2 PM appointment every week. My little sister married a boy I had a many years long crush on, and we did actually date for a month. And I married a boy that an acquaintance had dated for a few years. I'm not a believer in off-limits exes. Well, if you had sex or were in a relationship for a long time, then yeah, I can see why it would be a big deal. For me it would entirely depend on the ex. If they are dating the meth head, I'll 100% give you a heads up you're in for problems. Other than that, enjoy. There are plenty of fish in the sea. You don't need to date my ex, he is not your one and only. If you had a really relationship together or a really bad breakup, I can see it. You don't want your ex back in your life if it reminds you of hell and pain. Also, if your friend knows and understands what they might have done, it seems insensitive or stupid for them to be with them. If you had a good relationship and or an amicable breakup and you aren't on terrible terms, I don't think that's as big of a deal as long as they don't jump into a relationship right away. It's mostly a case by case basis, I think. I tried to set a friend up with an ex because she was perfect for him. She declined because she valued our friendship too much. We both moved away shortly after and we aren't even Facebook friends. Ladies, let your friends set you up with their ex if they offer. Respect for your friends. Not waiting is the problem. My now ex best friend swooped on my partner the day after I was dumped and couldn't get out of bed. Friendship was over the next day. I have 2 rules in life. 1, don't make. 2, don't sleep with anyone my friends have slept with. For me, it's about my pride. If I ever got in a fight with my friend, she can never call me out for sloppy seconds. Plus, I couldn't vent to my friend about the guy she used to date. It's also about the amount of respect you have for your friend. If I wasn't fully over them, it would be heartbreaking. After about a year post breakup, I'd say go ahead. It also depends on what sort of a relationship you guys had with each other. If it was no strings attached, then it shouldn't be a problem. But if it was a serious relationship, then it's f***ed up. God, please protect me from friends like this. With time it can be okay, I think. Seriously, the place I work has 2 female owners who are longtime friends and one is married to the other's ex from high school. It helps that the one who went out W him in high school is married too, perhaps. Loyalty? What kind of dumb question is this? I had a crush on my friend's ex and I waited until she started dating someone else to date him and still lost the friendship, but I gained a husband. I don't blame her for being upset, but obviously there was something special there and I wasn't going to waste it. I guess people don't get over people, or it could stir up old emotions or something along those lines.